walk into a darkly lit room with rows of cushioned chairs and a big screen. You walk up the aisle with buttery popcorn in your arm and your drink and chocolate in your other hand. And when you finally find your chosen seat, you relax, eat your popcorn, and escape from the real world. As a movie consumer, do you use movies as an escape from the real world because they're interesting, or because you want a different experience other than the everyday routine you're used to? I work at a movie theater, and I'm going to share my observations from being a staff member. Now, what is it like on the other side, for people like me who work at the theater? There are many tasks I take on, which can include answering questions, being familiar with current movies, being aware of the theater environment, and helping people buy tickets. One of the perks of working there is that I get to watch the current movies that are playing, as it helps us become familiar with the content, synopsis, and actors and directors starring in those movies. It's easier for us to give you an opinion if multiple staff members have already watched it. This is because each staff member provides their unique perspective, and that way the guests get a more diverse answer about the movie. We also provide our guests with a synopsis sheet to review, and if we're asked any follow-up questions, we're prepared to answer them. We put in a lot of work to become familiar with the movies that are currently playing, so we can be very helpful to you. As a staff member, I hear multiple interesting comments from guests about the movie they just watched as they leave the theater. When I patrol through the theater, I see the pre-show trailers captivate the audience in a teasing way to get them interested in what's to come. I also notice that one of the reasons people love to come to the movies is because it's an escape from reality. When I conduct theater checks, I see clips of the movies out of context, and when I hear reviews about them, it makes me question if I want to see the movie and what the theater experience is like. As you can see, there are many levels to making observations in the context of a movie theater. As a moviegoer, you are an observer of a film. And as a staff member working at the movie theater, I'm an observer of you. Therefore, why is it important to know about the different levels of observation, and why is it so important to know about the consequences of it? The first thing is to be aware that whether you're conscious of it or not, you are taking in information everywhere you go. Interpret the observation in the context you are receiving it. Out of context, our observations will not be accurate, and what we make of it is only our opinion, since we don't know the full story or have the full context. This causes misinformation. We consume a number of different media every day from different sources. Only we can control our thoughts, emotions, feelings, and what we choose to say about the information we have been given. Most of us rely on media outlets to provide us with news and entertainment and social media updates. We are all consumers of the media, and as we continue to consume more information, we become blinded by the issue of misrepresentation and stereotypes used in the media. We all have different observations and perspectives and can embrace that within us, although there is a difference between embracing something and providing people with the wrong information due to a misunderstanding. When I conduct theater checks, I go into the theater midway during the movie to make sure the video and audio are of high quality. While doing that, I observe a glimpse of the movie playing, and in doing so, it makes me either very confused or very interested on what's going on and what led to the scene, because I'm watching it out of context without knowing what the movie is about. Observations can therefore lead to misunderstanding and misinformation. Misunderstanding is when we fail to understand something correctly in the context it was given. When I'm at work, I receive a movie synopsis sheet for each movie playing. It contains a description of the plot of the movie, and it's meant for people to grasp an understanding of it. However, what people think and interpret of it to be can be very different. Guests come into the theater interested to watch Marvel's new Shang-Chi movie. As many fans come to watch the new movie and superhero, there are unanswered questions floating in the air. Guests were surprised when they came out of the theater to find the Shang-Chi movie to be quite amazing, but they didn't think it would be when they first walked into the theater. And yet they did. And yet they watched it. If Marvel wasn't as big as a brand as it is now, then with a decent description of a movie would not have caught so many people's attention. This is the misunderstanding between the company and the target market, which is the audience and all Marvel fans. The synopsis of the movie gives the audience a glimpse of the plot and what the movie is about. The movie did a satisfactory job communicating this to viewers. And as they were walking into the theater, they were unsure about their decision to spend $40 on a movie that doesn't sound super awesome. Although as they walked out of the theater, they're glad they did watch it and was blown away by the ending, confirming that their decision to watch the Shang-Chi movie was the right choice. This shows how misunderstanding can occur through movie synopsis and the audience. Misinformation is when you falsely or inaccurately inform others. In general, if you observe something in the wrong context or you think it's the right one, you will spread misinformation unknowingly. All of us have grandparents. Have you ever had a conversation with them where they said, "I'm coming over to see you"? In my mind, this means they're just stopping by to say hi. Then they talk to my dad, and they say they're going to take me out for dinner. My assumption that they were just stopping by is based on the vague information they gave me. It left too much room for interpretation. There are two things that led to misinformation. The first one is a lack of detail, and the second one is too much room for interpretation. Be aware how you share information. So now the movie is over and you're ready to leave. You're walking out of the theater with an empty popcorn bag and a drink, thinking about the movie you just watched, still unobservant of everything around you except for the movie. Remnants of the movie burned behind your eyes, leaving you in a trance until you heard the employees thanking you for coming, which pulled you back into reality, observing everything around you.